Hey, my name's Jaden, and in this video I'm going to be breaking down how I made my client almost $7,000 worth in jobs in just 2.5 weeks off of $625 ad spend inside of Meta. I'm going to be showing a presentation that I made as kind of like a roadmap, and we're going to go down each single section starting at his background all the way down to the results that we actually brought for him. Alright, so here you can see the full layout of the case study that I'm going to be breaking down. You can see all the different steps that led to us getting the results that I just told you about. But to start, like I mentioned, we're going to be starting with the client's background today, so we'll get right into that. All right, so yeah, to give you a little bit of insight on who this client was, even though he doesn't want me to say his actual business name and everything, I'm going to talk a little bit about who he was. He was a pressure washing business based in West Virginia, and I was able to come across his business by actually searching him on Facebook, pressure washing businesses. I clicked recent posts and he was one of the recent posts for the day. First connected with the owner through a cold call. After learning more about the business, we saw an opportunity to turn Facebook into more of a consistent lead source instead of only relying on referrals. Basically, just meaning I saw him only posting on Facebook. I talked to him a little bit. He told me that he was getting most of his jobs through referral, word of mouth. I was like, yo, man, you're consistently posting on Facebook. You might as well try the Facebook and whole meta ads type of deal. He was a little bit open to it. And then I started, assessing and figuring out what his problem was. So I'm about to show you what his problem actually ended up being. All right. So, yeah, the main thing that I figured out about this business, or the main thing that wasn't working, is for one, he mostly relied on word of mouth. He was not really big on, doing serious advertisement. He did not have yard signs. He did not have door flyers. He wasn't, consistently, wherever. The most he was doing was posting on an Instagram or posting on a Facebook. Now, he did mention to me that he boosted a few Facebook posts before, doing like $10 boost, $5 boost. But still, this is just not what you want to do. This is not how you actually run Facebook ads right and get the results that you want just by doing some simple boosts. One of the main things that he told me was that he was getting so many jobs sporadic. For example, he would be getting a full week of jobs one week and then going 2 weeks with no jobs and then having 1 week with jobs and vice versa. Always just having such an uneven or not consistent workflow of work. Now, obviously, you could probably assume why this mattered, but just to go into it, without a consistent lead flow, the business had to depend on referrals, random posts, and people reaching out on their own, which is not how you want to do it. I mean, you want to put your business in front of people as much as you can and not rely on them coming to you all the time. You almost want to go to them, put yourself in front of them, and make them realize that they need your service. So yeah, the goal with this client was to create a simple system that could bring in pressure washing leads more consistently for him, ultimately getting him some more work down the line. Now I'm going to break down more of the goal and, in a sense, what we were actually trying to achieve. Now, I'm sure you could read the goal or probably assume the goal before I even talk about it, but obviously it was to do things like generate more quote requests, bring in more leads from local homeowners, turn the meta ad spend into book jobs, promote a clear offer, and make the lead process simple and easy. And when I say make the process simple and easy, what I'm meaning is we actually set up automations where, for example, my client was able to get a text message as soon as a lead came in, and with this, he was able to contact the lead as soon as possible. When you get a meta lead, sometimes Meta will give you an email an hour later or 2 hours later saying you got a new lead. And by this time, it's dead. That they're not interested anymore. But with the automations that I set up, I make it where my client actually gets a text message instantly. They're able to call them within the same minute and have a really high chance of actually closing that client, which I'll talk to more about the end when I show is about 60% closing rate. So yeah, obviously the main objective was the goal was not to just get cheap leads. The goal was to bring in pressure washing opportunities that could turn into booked work. Now, a lot of people always just want to get the cheapest cost per lead. They want a $5 cost per lead, a $6 cost per lead. And, your cost per lead does matter a lot, but it also matters about how many are converting. If you got $500 and you brought 50 leads at $10, but none of them converted, and you had 500 leads, or you spent $500 to bring 10 leads at $50 and most of them converted, you would rather the $50 leads all day. So it's really about what converts best for you. I try to make it very clear that it's always just not about who has the cheaper cost per lead. All right, so now that I told you a little bit about the goal, obviously it was something that you could probably assume for this client, but we're going to break down a little bit of the strategy going into the ad campaign and what we discussed before actually setting up the campaign. All right, so yeah, off the initial rip, some of the creatives that we used was photo generated ads, this being your ChatGPT, your AI, your Claude type of style images, multi-edit videos, meaning putting multiple different videos together, making it like a type of CapCut edit style. Videos using trending audios, meaning, any audio that's doing good, for example, on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, any of the trending audios usually on social media relatively are going to do well. To give an example, back when Drake dropped his new album, we were running some audios behind that, and this was just pushing it so much more, helping it so much more because it was such a trending audio, is getting more people to stop. We wanted to run talking to the camera style videos, so when you hold your phone up and just talk straight to the camera, usually offering some type of deal or just promoting the service, actually talking to them from the owner, building the trust with the customer. And then the whole plan after getting all these creatives was just to test each different one, see what was working best, and then constantly optimize it to get a better cost per lead, but also more converting lead. So obviously you can kind of see why this strategy worked. Now this is a very, summed up version of how we ran this strategy. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the setup, which is breaking down actually how it was ran. All right, so yeah, like I was saying, this is going to be more talking about how the actual campaign was ran. So as you can see how we set it up, we were actually running a meta lead form campaign. Typically, I do run people to the website if they have a good website. Just for this sake, we were only running people to a form. And we started on a $30 daily budget, which I only ran 3 ads at a time. You definitely don't want to spread the budget too thin at all. Like you can see on the right side, why did we set it up this way? We started simple so the campaign could test different creatives without spreading the budget too thin. It's just like I was saying, if you're running a $30 daily budget, you're not going to have 5 or 6 different ads going because it's just going to be spreading the budget too thin. You don't want $30 to spend across 5 or 6 ads. When you have it across 3 ads, that's about $10 to each ad every day, which is a pretty good, spot to split them up at. Now, we tested multiple creative styles, and we were actually very quick to see what was working. Within about a week and a half in, we kind of figured out what was working, what was doing well. After a week and a half in, we were able to bump up to that $40 a day and just start almost doubling the results that we were getting. Once we jumped up to that $40 daily budget, I was actually running 4 ads at a time now because of the increase in the budget. We were able to run more ads alongside. So yeah, like I said, once we found creatives that were bringing in leads, we were very quick to increase the daily budget, add more ads to keep testing while pushing the winning angles. And this is the whole strategy with meta ads. Once we figure out what works, we're going to keep pumping money into it and keep trying to optimize it or edit it a little bit to find a better version of that. All while we're testing new ads and testing new content that we're constantly getting for you. Alright, so like I was just saying how I was going to show some replicas. These are some image ad examples that we'll use for clients. Now these are all made with ChatGPT. You can make these with Claude, you can make these with Grok, you can make these with just about any AI. Now, a lot of people tend to ask if these ads or, this style of creative do work. And I will say, yes, they do. As you can see to the right, there's some results being shown here. Now, the results in this picture is actually from the top left ad creative that you see. So this is just a live example to show that they do work and they can bring in leads. So yeah, with this client, we were running a bunch of different creatives that look just like this. We actually, for example, if I was running 3 ads, I'd probably have 1 photo like this. If I was running 4 ads, I'd probably have 2 photos like this running at the same time. Now you get an idea of what we were doing for image ads and kind of seeing what they were looking like. I'm going to show you where we made most of the money, being in video ads. So to start with me, as you can see, just the talking to the camera with the subtitles over. This is one of the best strategies in my opinion. It really builds a lot of trust with the customer. You're talking directly to them. But there's also a lot of other great ways and, really good creatives that work. As you can see to the right of the video of me talking, there's somebody using meta POV on the ladder. This is an amazing thing, especially in 2026. So many people like using this meta POV. I have to say, like, out of, all of my clients, maybe 40-50% of them are running meta POV type of style. And if I sell them that, if they don't have the glasses, I really recommend them to go get them because I just find that these style of ads always work. As you can see in the bottom left, we're offering the $100 off offer, still being a meta POV. Now, this is once again a really good strategy to use. You always want to offer some big offer that they think it's a kind of a special that it's coming across them. You don't want them to think like it's just a normal thing. They're going to scroll right past it. But when they think that they're winning in some type of way, they're going to click on that ad. And that being in that video, a meta POV too, it helped just a little bit more because it gave the audience something to watch in the background. And then obviously, as you can see in the bottom right, it's another POV style from a detailer. Once again, like, this is just the best style. This is one of my favorite creatives type to run. So yeah, we'll be running meta POV styles like this, and we'll also be running ads that are actually talking to the client. Sometimes I do videos of like a before and after with the client talking. To give a live example, my person that I'm talking about today in West Virginia, he had a tripod where he would set up the camera and actually talk to the camera before the job, explain what he was doing, show a time lapse during the job, and then come back at the end to talk and explain how the job went. And overall, it would be like a minute video with not that much editing, very, very simple stuff that you could do through CapCut, but ultimately produced really, really good results for him. And then back when I was talking about how using certain audios can help a lot with your results, this is when that Drake album dropped, and I was very quick to try to use any Drake audio that Meta would let me slide. So as you can see here, this is us running roof washing ads, which is typically a higher ticket job, but still getting a very solid cost per lead with the Drake audio in the background, definitely helping a lot out on that. Alright, so now that you kind of see the videos that we're using, kind of the results that you can bring from it. I'm going to show you the final part, the part that everybody wants to see, being the actual results. So yeah, as you can read, $625 into almost $7,000 worth of book jobs. And like I said, this was only in the first 2.5 weeks. Our budget was to spend anywhere from $1,000 to $1,200 for the month of ads, which you can see we're at $625, being right about halfway. We have already generated 21 leads, and each of them being about a $30 cost per lead. Now, out of these 21 leads, he was able to book 14 of these. And this is actually a 66% closing rate. Now, the reason he's getting such a high closing rate is because of the fact that we're nurturing these leads. The second they fill out a meta form, they're automatically getting a text message saying, hey, thank you so much for filling out this form. We'll be quick to give you a call about that $100 off offer for pressure washing, yada yada. And then my client will call them as soon as possible within the first 5 minutes. So they're still interested. We're not giving them time to lose interest, and they're ready to just get the job going, get it booked, get the estimates scheduled for my client to go out there and give them a price. So yeah, as you can see at the bottom right, this is actually his results from the test ad set that we have running right now. We started this campaign originally only pushing for website, but then switched it to be in both. And then going into next month, we're only going to use Metaform. I do want to give a special thanks to Marshall. That is the business owner that is letting me show these results, or just in a sense make him the story of this video. He did not want me to show his business name, but he did give me clearance to talk about some of the things I showed you today, so I wanted to thank him a lot for that. I'm going to start making a lot of these videos way more to show off what I'm doing for some of my clients. And if you have a business and you're watching this, I'd love to do the same results for your business as well. So yeah, that was it. That was how I made my client almost $7,000 worth of jobs in just 2.5 weeks. This is how I could do it exactly for your business as well. If you want to learn how to do this, you could join my Discord server. I teach a lot of people. There's almost 2,000 people in the server currently. Everything's in the description, my website, the Discord, everything you need to know about me and my business. Like I said, this is one of the first videos that we're actually making showing a case study for the clients. So please give it a like, subscribe if you want to. Stay tuned for the next case study that I post. Thank you so much for watching this video.